Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessie. If you are new here, I do all kinds of lifestyle videos, motherhood videos. I have a 6-week-old baby, a lot of vlogs, but I also like to share my budget and my budgeting system as someone who is living with a lot of debt, looking to pay it off, trying to get out of like a financial hole that we were in a few years ago. I like to share that because I think that there is a lot of money content on YouTube, and I think that it is great and super helpful, but not all of it is like realistic. So that's why I wanted to share my budget. I'm going to share what my March budget is going to look like. I'm also going to share a couple of goals that I have. They're like very all over the place. I might even add a couple as we're talking through stuff because I just don't know yet. It's only February 12th, so some of this stuff may change, but I like to get this filmed and ready in case other people are looking for some help or just interested in how to look at their budget for the next month. Let's jump into this and I will show you what March is looking like. This is what my budget is going to look like this month. I'm kind of going in and out of darkness right now. Not sure why. Anyway, if you see me looking over here, I'm looking at my budget right now, and it is like really gross out today. So this might be a little bit dark, but that's okay. I want to show you guys my goals first, just because I don't normally have goals, but I wanted to start writing a couple down. So if you're interested in this, this will just be a couple of minutes, but basically my goals for March, I think I've told you in basically every last video and vlog that we're planning on, or we might be possibly moving sometime this year. So with that comes a much more expensive rent. We are planning to, if we do move, it would most likely be back to the Midwest. And if we move to the Midwest, it's just much pricier to live there, which is crazy to me because I've lived in the Midwest my whole life. And I'm like, why? Why is it more expensive to live there? I don't know, but it is. So it's more expensive to live there than it is here in North Carolina. So at least where we are. So our rent could go up quite a bit, and we're just not sure if we can afford that, truthfully. We're probably gonna do like a whole video on why we'd want to move back to the Midwest. If you can probably take some guesses, but a big one is that we have a kid now, and we want people to be able to interact with her, and we don't want to isolate her away from people, and we don't really have a community here. But that's not what this video is about. We need to do a whole video on some updates for the rest of this year, but I'm going to do that with Ben. With that, my goals kind of go about that because March is when we should start to figure out some money things. So I've mentioned before that we have a couple of things in the pipeline. One being Ben goes back to work in March. He has paid paternity leave, which is his company Spectacular. He should be getting a bonus. He might be getting a raise. The raise really would only affect our monthly income, obviously, which would be helpful because his income did go down a little bit because we had to add Ivy to our insurance. He also will be getting a payout on his stocks, I think that they're called. I don't know. It's something with a company, which we should be finding out in March what that'll look like. And then he also might have another payout of sorts starting in March with another company that he helped found. So anyway, there's a whole bunch of information that comes with that stuff, but that's kind of the background. Ben and I will do a whole video on it once we kind of get our head wrapped around what we're actually going to be doing with our life. We should be able to figure out those things in March. We should have more information. So that's why I have figure out what our budget will look like, because I want to know how much income is coming in, if we can pay off any of our debts, which will help. This also includes me. So I have actually already started back with my blogging client. So I just wrote one blog. I need to write another one in the next couple days. So my income will start coming back in, which you'll see in this budget. I don't have enough income to pay myself this month. I should be hopefully starting up with my other client either in March or April. I might wait until April just because Ben goes back to work in March. So that might just be a lot of stuff because I will be the sole caretaker during the day. So my freelance work will have to be done when I can get to it. So I don't want to kind of get myself ahead of it. I'm talking way too much. Anyway, that's what figure out our budget looks like. get our taxes finished. My taxes are finished, aka I've written all of my expenses and business stuff out because I am self-employed. Ben still needs to send his tax information in to our accountant, and then that accountant works with the company that Ben helped found, that he founded. So sometimes our taxes take a lot longer to get done because we have to wait until they do the business's taxes, but I would like to at least get our part of the taxes finished. They should be finished in February. I'm kind of hoping that we'll get paid in March. So maybe I'll just put taxes in general because ours should be finished this week. Lower spend on food and coffee out. I did lower the budget this month, but I just need to kind of relax on the coffee out in particular and then start paying attention to food and exercise. These are goals outside of my budget, obviously, but there's some big stuff happening in March that could be like very, very, very helpful to our overall budget and income. We also should have our hospital bills figured out by then, so that'll be helpful too. But let's move on to the actual budget for what you guys came here for. So next month, as I kind of just mentioned, I won't be able to pay myself a full income this month. I only have a certain amount in my business account and I can't deplete the account because it pays for all of my bills and stuff. And honestly, I have myself paying myself a little bit, but if we have enough rollover from February, I might not pay myself at all, just so I don't deplete my business account. If you guys are ever interested in seeing like how I budget for my business, let me know in the comments down below. So Ben's income, my income, and then I have right here, if I need to pull any money from savings, I will. This is the whole reason that we actually saved for savings. It wasn't only for the baby, but it was because we knew I wasn't going to be being paid for a few months while I'm on maternity leave, because you don't get maternity leave when you are self-employed. So planning on having about $7,000 come in March. All of these are the same. The only thing that is new is pet insurance, and this is a guesstimate. We are actually going to sign up for pet insurance this week. If you guys didn't know, my dog, we have two dogs. We have two golden retrievers. One is 5 and one is 1. And our 1-year-old golden retriever went to the emergency vet over the summer. I thought he was gonna die. It was like $2,000, which is actually not even that much for an emergency vet. And then Cora is my 5-year-old, and she is just having more and more little issues, and I just never want to be in the place where I am depleting my savings or putting dog stuff on the credit card because we can't afford it. So I want to get some sort of pet insurance that can at least alleviate some of those big things if we ever have like a big thing come up, like God forbid, like cancer, or they break a leg or something like that. So I just think that it's something that we should be getting ahead of. And plus, one of the pet insurances that I found covers mostly one of Cora's very expensive medications, so we're also hoping for that. So that's the only thing that's new next month. Everything else is the same. If you've never seen my budget, these are just my fixed expenses. They never really change. So if they ever do, I will call them out. Moving on to our debt. This is also an area that doesn't change. The only thing that does is Ben's credit card, because we're only paying the minimum on it right now, because that's just all that we can do. If we do get a good amount of money in March and April that we are anticipating getting, we're going to try to pay off my loan. It's not necessarily the highest interest loan, but it's one of the higher payment loans, and we just need to knock it out. So as you can see in my little savings and debt tracker over here, Ben's card has about $4,700 on it. My capital loan has about $10,000. So we're hoping that we can just cut that baby out. And then Ben's city loan is the other one. These are both higher interest, obviously, but we're trying to get payments out of the way because we're going to have higher rent if we move. If we have enough money, we might try to pay off both of these debts. It really depends. So we'll see, and like I'll do a video on that when we get there. Right now, we don't know if we're going to have the money to do that, so I don't want to get ahead of myself. So that is where our debt payments are at. Obviously in June, we'll have to add these babies back in. Currently we're paying $1729.95 in debt payment. Okay, I just had to turn my camera off and back on, so hopefully I didn't mess anything up. But next up is groceries, all or our variable expenses. These change every month, so I will walk you through them. We're planning to spend about $750 in groceries. That's the same every month. $200 in Costco, $150 in restaurants and coffee shops. I did knock that down by about $100, but we'll see. Maybe we won't even hit that. I don't think we have anything going on in March, so we'll see. Maybe we can be better about it. Medication and supplements I kept at $100. Household I kept at $200. IV I kept at $300. That's just formula. We most likely will have to buy diapers. We've been kind of roaming through the diapers that we already had this month and like the diaper wipes and things like that. I think this month, as in February when I'm filming this, will probably be the last month for that. We do have some more diapers at my family's, but they were supposed to come and visit and they didn't. So they were going to drive out here and bring some of the stuff that I got from my baby shower that we couldn't fit in the car, but they're no longer coming out. So I won't be able to use those things. Next up is beauty. I have that at $175. That is just Ben haircut and then me getting my nails done. Personal spending I have at $100 because I don't anticipate us needing to buy much in March personally. I do have it quite high for doctors this month, being $500. I have a doctor appointment and then I have kind of just guessed on a couple of chiropractic appointments, which we pay a $40 copay on. And then I have 4 pelvic floor PT. I don't know if I'm gonna go to all of them because it's a $90 copay, which is kind of annoying. It's just pretty expensive. I've been to 1 appointment and I'm gonna go to a couple more, but if this is something that my chiropractor can help me out with, or I might change my appointments to like every other week, so I'm only going twice a week, because 90 times 4 is just like not a great thing to have to pay every month. So right now I budgeted $500, which will be like just enough, and that's without any hospital bills or doctor bills coming in for IV. So that might not even be enough budgeted. I hope it is, because if it's not, we'll have to pull from savings, which I don't really want to do. Utilities $275, about the same. Car I knocked down to $150. It was much higher in February because we had to pay for tires. Cora and Finn I knocked down to $200 because I'm hoping that this pet insurance will cover Cora's medication, and then $100 in miscellaneous buffer. So about $3,200 in variable expenses. And then down here I don't have anything that we should need to pay for. So right now, if everything is completely on budget and our income is the same, we only have like a $90 buffer, which is not my favorite. That's very, very tight, but hopefully things will kind of even themselves out. I'm also not sure what our rollover will be from February. We're doing pretty well so far, but it's only February 12th as I'm filming this, so we still have most of the month left, and we do have some visitors coming at the end of the month too, so we might be, you know, spending a little bit more money there. But that is what my March budget looks like coming up, and that is also some of my goals. I'm really hopeful that we're able to get ahead and get in a really good place monetarily, but I have a really hard time because we've just had so many money issues in our past, and it's just very stressful to be positive sometimes because I'm unsure if it's gonna stick around, you know, so I'm trying to stay as positive as possible. So keep your fingers crossed for us that things work out, even if we don't move, that just like money stuff works out in general. Once we have a little bit more information, I think Ben and I will do a video about that. If you guys liked this, make sure that you give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video.